Hey hackers, welcome to Azefox Innovations new series on fundamentals of Linux. In this video, we are going to explore the basics of Linux, what it is, why it matters, and the key concepts you need to get started. Whether you are aiming for cybersecurity, DevOps, or just learning how operating systems work, Linux is an essential skill to have. So here we are in the part of the Linux 101. Linux is an open source operating system kernel created by Linus Torvalds in 1991. Unlike Windows or Mac OS, Linux is completely free and community driven. It powers a massive part of the modern world from web servers and cloud systems to IoT devices and even Android smartphones. Think of it as the backbone of the internet, quietly running behind the scenes, providing stability, speed, and security. So now we'll the part into why Linux is needed, or like what's the need for Linux. So why do people prefer Linux, right? So first, it's secure and stable, which makes it the go-to choice for servers that need to run without interruption. Second, it's extremely popular in cybersecurity, cloud computing, DevOps, and development environments. And third, Linux has a huge open source community, meaning like if you face a problem, chances are someone has already solved it and shared the fix. It's not just an operating system. It's to be honest, a culture of collaboration, or to be precise. So here we will talk about various Linux distributions, or also known as Linux flavors. Okay. When we say Linux, we don't mean just one version. Comes in many different flavors called distributions or distros for short. Each distro is built for different use cases. For example, Ubuntu is beginner friendly and widely used on desktops and servers. Kali Linux is tailored for penetration testers and cybersecurity professionals. Fedora and Red Hat, like they are enterprise grade distros often used in companies. And for advanced users who like full control, Arch Linux allows deep customization. No matter you need, there's Linux distro for you. So yeah, now we are actually entering into some sort of practical stuffs and all. Okay, so we'll start with the file system basics, right? One of the first things we will notice in Linux, is its file system structure, which is different from Windows. Okay, in Linux, everything is treated as a file, whether it's a document, a folder, or even a hardware like your hard drive or keyboard. Some key directories, we will encounter include like home directory, which contains, which stores user files. Then we have the etc directory, which contains system configuration files. Then we have the var directory, which actually contains the logs and also the variable data. And we have the root directory, which is a home directory for the root of the administrator account, right? So understanding these directories is essential before diving deeper. Okay, so let's have a small practical, or let's go for a small practical stuff here. Okay, so okay, let me go back. Okay, so let me go to the main root directory, right? And as what I said, we'll start with the very first of what is home directory, right? So as what I said, it contains the files which has been used by, or which has been created or stored by the normal user. So in this system, I'm actually using Kali Linux. Okay, so and here I'm having only one user known as Kali, right? And if I go to the user Kali, you can see that all the files that's created by the user Kali has been listed out here. Okay, and after this, now we will go to the etc part, or the etc directory, which contains all the configurations of the system. So as you can see, this particular directory is like very important, as like it contains like almost all of the configurations in your system. For example, even the cron tabs being the cron tabs and all the network related stuffs and all, etc. Then now we'll go to the var directory, right, which contains all the logs. Sorry. So as you can see, we will be able to see all the logs, right? Whether it may be like related to anything, any event that's been like performed, like that's been happening on the system will be logged, in this directory. Okay. So for just the sake of a demonstration, I will show you the boot log, right? So okay, okay, it requires some permission. I'll just state my privileges. Okay, cat And as you can see, this is how a log actually looks like. Okay, I will deep dive into the the Linux log parts and actually some other things related to blue teaming. Right? We'll cover that on another series or in one of the upcoming videos. But just for the sake of demonstration, I'm just showing that how actually a log looks like in Linux systems. Okay. Then finally we have the root directory, right? Which is like the directory for the administrator, and like this directory is not accessible by the normal user. First thing. So for example, let me exit from here, like, and after this I will be the normal Kali user, and if I try to access the root directory, it is permission denied. So it's like only the administrator or the root user of the system can has the ability to access this directory. So now let's talk about some basic navigation commands in Linux. To know your current location in the system, you can use the PWD, which stands for print working directory. To see the files and folders inside a directory, the ls command, like it's useful, right? If you want to move between directories or if you want to change your directory, you will use a cd command, like followed by the path. And if like, if your terminal is like full of path, and if you want to clear the terminal, then we can use a clear command, right? These simple commands are the foundation of working efficiently in Linux. Okay. So now another small demonstration about this navigation based commands. So let's just pwd. It's like print working directory. Currently it stays that we are into the war and war/log directory. Okay. And then like we have the ls, which like simply lists all the file here. Okay. And then after that, like we have the cd command, which is actually used to change directory to home directory and ls. Now we are like into the home directory. And like finally, if you want to clear the entire terminal, like if it is like too gibberish, then we can just clear and it will like clear the entire terminal. Yeah. So now we enter the file handling part. So file management in Linux is also done directly from the terminal. For example, we can create an empty file using the touch command. Okay. To create a folder, we can use the mkdir or makedir. Okay. If we want to delete a file, we can use the remove or rm command, and vice versa. We can also use rmdir to remove a directory. Okay, and to actually work with text files, you can use editors like Nano, which is a text editor which lets us type and save contents inside the terminal itself. These commands give you complete control over your files without ever touching a graphical interface. So again, let's go for a small demonstration here. Okay, and okay. So first, let me create an empty file using the touch command, touch none.txt. Right. And as you can see, the none.txt file will be created, and it's an empty file. If you want to display any sort of file contents, you can use the cat command, cat none.txt. And as you can see, it's an empty file, so it doesn't contain any any contents within it. Then after that, we can actually make a directory here, right? We can mkdir as none, right? And if I give ls once again, and where is this found? As you can see, we created a new directory, name as none, right? And if we move to the directory, it is empty as we didn't create any file over there. Okay. And now, if you want to remove a file, we can use the rm file, the rm command, and rm. Then actually, the name of the file. So none.txt, right? And if I give again ls, as you can see, the none file actually been deleted. Okay. And if you want to remove the directory, I can give rmdir none. If I check again, as you can see, the none directory has been now deleted. And finally, it's part about the Nano, the text editor, right? So let's say I want to create an text file with the contents like hello, how are you? So for that, I can use nano, okay, nano none.txt once again, and let's say hola, then how are you? Okay, how are you? And to save the file, Control O, enter, and Control X to exit the editor. Okay. Likewise, Nano, we also have another editor known as the Vim, which we will cover in in later part of the videos or in a later part of the series. But it's like a bit more different, than Nano. And The attackers can actually abuse Vim for privilege escalation scenarios, or also for gaining RC purposes. Okay, we'll discuss about that later in some later part of the videos. Okay, first let me exit from here. Okay. So yeah, and this wraps up the fundamentals of Linux. We covered what Linux is, why it's important, the role of distributions, the file system structure, some basic commands, and etc. etc. Linux might look intimidating at first, but once you get comfortable with these basics, it becomes a powerful tool that gives you complete control over your system. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into Linux commands and explore how to use terminal more effectively. So yeah, that's from my side. We'll catch you all in another new video. Okay, bye bye, and make sure you follow and subscribe Azefox Innovations for more informative videos. Bye.